Nobody dreams of being a defenseman. You don't grow up yelling, "Good stick in the lane," in your driveway. You grow up wanting to score, dangle, celebrate. But somewhere along the way, usually after one bad skating drill or a coach realizing you're built like a fridge, you get assigned to the blue line like it's jury duty. You're not Cale Makar, you're not flying through the neutral zone with your hair blowing in the wind like a hockey Fabio. You're standing flat-footed while some Junior McDavid wannabe comes flying at you with murder in his eyes. At 10, you're being told, don't overhandle the puck, just make the safe play. Translation, you're not allowed to have fun. While your teammates are working on their celly routines, you're out here perfecting your poke check and praying you don't end up on a TikTok highlight reel. And if you do try to be creative, your coach benches you so fast you start questioning if you imagined the entire sequence. Hey bud, we're not looking for Erik Karlsson out there. Move it and get off. You learn early. Forwards get the glory. Goalies get the sympathy. You get told, good gap control, and a lifetime of high ankle sprains. It's not about being a star. It's about being responsible. You don't get compared to Connor Bedard. You get compared to Marc-Edouard Vlasic when he was still allowed to have opinions. You didn't choose this life. You were drafted into it because when every other kid said, not it, you were the poor bastard who didn't speak up fast enough. And just like that, welcome to the blue line. Hope you like the pain. You thought the worst part was getting stuck back there, but here's the real kicker. Once you're in, no one even notices you exist until it's too late. You play 22 minutes a night, you shut down top lines, kill penalties, block shots, break the puck out, and babysit the forwards. And what do you get? A seat in the shadows, right next to the backup goalie and the team nutritionist. You do everything right, nobody notices. You bobble one puck in the D zone, that guy's a liability. Some dude named @HockeyDad6969 with a Leafs logo and a short fuse. Look at Chris Tanev. He played like a Spartan warrior with 2 collapsed lungs and a shattered tibia, but because he didn't score, half the league forgets he exists. Or Adam Pelech, defensive god in human form. Islanders fans worship him. Everyone else thinks he's a guy who used to run the penalty box camera, because that's the job. You don't get a montage on SportsCenter. You get a 7-second clip of you eating a puck with your face, then limping off like it's just another Wednesday. You're constantly outnumbered, 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, breakaways off a bad pinch, and if the puck ends up in your net, the goalie yells, the coach yells, the broadcast zooms in on your confused face and says, tough look for the D-man there. There's no glory in doing your job, only punishment when you don't. And the worst part? The forwards never come back. They dangle in the O-zone like it's figure skating practice, then coast through the neutral zone like they've just clocked out, pulling a full Q's nets off glide, or doing their best Phil Kessel cardio conservation routine. So you recover, you reset, you bail them out again. And when your stick breaks or you take a puck to the ankle and can't change, no one notices, except the guy who scores, and the coach who benches you anyway. Just when you thought being invisible was your best skill, the stat heads show up to put your every move under a microscope. You used to be judged by guts and grit. Now, you're judged by graphs and heat maps. You can block 5 shots, lay 2 hits, eat a cross-check to the spine, and clear the front of the net like a junkyard dog. But if your zone exit percentages isn't elite, you're a liability. You're not even a player anymore. You're a spreadsheet with skates. Welcome to the age of wins above replacement, adjusted shot charts, expected goals against, and endless cries of why can't you transition the puck like Quinn Hughes? Never mind that Hughes skates like he's powered by an illegal Red Bull and plays with the puck more than the ref's whistle. You're out here surviving trench warfare with a cracked rib and a stick that's been slashed in half. But you didn't retrieve the puck cleanly, so now you're in the analytics gulag. You get roasted on Twitter threads by 20-year-olds using JFresh graphics like tarot cards. Yeah bro, Cody Ceci washed. Look at his microstats. Cool, but can your spreadsheet tell me what it feels like to block a Zdeno Chara slapshot with your ribs? You're expected to be everything at once. Stay-at-home rock like Ryan McDonough. Puck mover like Makar. Transitioning king like Devin Taves. And oh yeah, don't take penalties, don't get walked, and if you're on the ice for a goal against, enjoy your new seat next to the coach's favorite forward. Analytics aren't the enemy, but they sure don't feel your knees pop every time you crouch. They don't track pain tolerance, they don't track intangibles, they don't track the moment you dive to block a one-timer and wonder if this is the shift that ends your season. You used to play through bruises, now you're playing through bar graphs, and somehow, the bruises were easier. But the numbers don't account for the one variable you can't control, your partner. Being an NHL defenseman is already brutal. Now do it with a random partner duct taped to your hip. You don't get to choose your D partner, you get assigned one, like a roommate in prison. One night it's a raw rookie like Brant Clark, skating like a deer on stilts. The next is Ben Sherratt, moving like his controller's lagging. And no matter who screws up, you wear it. They pinch at the wrong time, you're the one sprinting back. They miss a read, you're on the highlight reel looking like you've never played hockey before. Remember when Seth Jones got stapled to the ghost of late career Duncan Keith? Yeah, good luck looking elite while your partner's playing NHL 94 and you're playing whack-a-mole in your own zone. One bad pairing and your season's cooked. You go from solid shutdown guy to why does this dude have a -17? And let's be real, chemistry's a myth when your partners rotate faster than Leafs excuses in April. Find a rhythm, they say. Cool, I'll try that with someone whose idea of gap control is Rasmus Ristolainen, freelancing in the offensive zone. You're supposed to trust this guy to cover your back. Meanwhile, he's out here trying no-look stretch passes like he's Tony DeAngelo in a contract year. You can't say anything either. If you call him out, you're a bad teammate. If you try to compensate, now you're overcommitting. There's no winning, just two dudes chained together, skating backward into oblivion, hoping neither of you gets posterized tonight. You think having a bad partner is bad? Try making a single mistake, because in this league, you don't get second chances, you get Twitter threads. Being a defenseman isn't about being perfect, it's about knowing that anything less gets you crucified. You can play 19 perfect shifts, win your battles, kill penalties, box out like a beast. But blow one coverage? Now you're on the replay reel, frozen mid-panic, while a top 6 winger taps in the easiest goal of his life. Congrats, you just became Exhibit A in tomorrow's What Went Wrong segment. You think forwards get treated like this when they float a few shifts? They miss the net, blow the zone early, throw a pizza up the middle. Just a bad bounce. You misread one cycle, you're trending under #defensive disaster before you hit the bench. Ask Jay Gardner. One brutal turnover in Game 7, and suddenly Leafs Nation acted like he's personally murdered their childhood dog. Doesn't matter that he was logging 24 minutes a night and covering for a team that treated defense like a group project they didn't study for. You're not allowed nights off. You're not allowed learning curves. You're not even allowed bad luck. You deflect a puck into your own net, you might as well hand deliver your resume to the AHL. There's no margin for error, because when a forward messes up, they get a "my bad" tap on the helmet. When a defensive man messes up, it's a goal against, a stare from the coach, and a seat at the end of the bench where hope goes to die. When the stakes rise, so does the carnage, and guess who's first in line? Playoff hockey, where legends are made and defensive men are sacrificed. Forget elevating your game. Your job is to dive in front of 100-mile-an-hour slap shots and hope your internal organs sign a waiver. Your minutes spike from 21 to 28 overnight. Your ice time is only limited by how long your body stays upright. Victor Hedman played half a game once on one good leg. Ryan Lindgren basically skated through the playoffs held together by duct tape and rage. Meanwhile, the forwards are getting fancy with playoff beards and commercial spots. You're eating pucks for breakfast and sleeping in a tub of Epsom salt, crushed Advil, and regret. You've got ice packs duct taped to every joint, a stim machine buzzing your thighs like it's trying to resurrect you, and a heating pad permanently fused to your lower back. Your recovery routine looks less like an athlete's and more like a car crash victim's rehab schedule. Nobody celebrates your blocked shot. They celebrate the rebound goal someone else scored because of it. And if your team loses, the stars get headlines like "play through injury." Steven Stamkos tweaks a groin, panel discussion. Nathan MacKinnon gets a bruise, slow motion highlight reel, and a heroic voiceover. Sidney Crosby misses morning skate, breaking news ticker like it's DEFCON 1. Meanwhile, you've got a cracked rib, a separated shoulder, and a face held together with butterfly stitches. But if you don't clear the front of the net, you're the reason they lost. You become the target for every forechecker, every cross-check, every angry fourth liner trying to stay in the lineup. You're not a player. You're a battering ram with a bad back. And don't expect mercy. This is the postseason. You've got a separated shoulder? Tape it up. Fractured foot? Block another shot. Lost a tooth? That's just good luck, apparently. You survive 4 rounds of trench warfare, and if you win the cup, you get to lift it for 10 seconds before limping into surgery. You survive 3 rounds and lose in Game 7, nobody remembers your name. Because playoff defensive men don't get glory. They just get broken. You survived it. You bled for it. You gave your body to the cup run. And after all that, you still don't get remembered. Forwards get remembered for their goals. Goalies get remembered for their miracles. You get remembered if you screwed up in a Game 7. There are statues for scorers. There are banners for netminders. What do defensive men get? Maybe a polite nod during alumni night and a table at a local car dealership opening. You grind for 15 years, block 1,200 shots, play through more pain than a WWE stuntman, and your legacy is, he was steady. That's it. Not spectacular, not elite, just steady. Ask Marc-Edouard Vlasic, top shutdown guy for years in San Jose. Do casual fans even remember he existed? Not unless they're shopping for a used jersey at a Play It Again Sports. Jay Bouwmeester, Olympic gold, Stanley Cup champ, elite skating D-man for 2 decades. But unless you're a Blues fan or a hockey nerd, he's just a name buried between bigger ones. You don't get highlight reels. You get quiet respect, if that. And when the Hall of Fame debates come around, forget it. If you didn't put up 60 points a year or win a Norris, you're out. Never mind that you made your partner look like a superstar. Never mind that you played the hard minutes, took the worst matchups, and made a career out of fixing other people's mistakes. Because the reality is, you were the backbone, and bones don't get remembered. And just when you think you've earned some respect, the league moves on without even blinking. One day you're logging 25 minutes, next, you're not even on the team group chat. There's no farewell tour for NHL defensive-men, no tearful retirement presser. Just one day you're a top pair warrior, the next you're a PTO nobody signs. Your decline isn't sudden, it's slow, it's cruel. Your feet get half a step slower, your stick gets a little less active, and the fans, they notice immediately. Now every play is, he's lost a step. Every goal against is somehow your fault. Even if your partner was doing snow angels behind the net, you gave your body, hips, knees, shoulders. You play through tears in your groin and whispers in your ear about leadership presence. That's code for he's cooked, but the kids like him. You try to adapt, smarter angles, less movement, better reads. But the game doesn't slow down for you. It speeds up, and it chews up guys like Alex Edler and Mark Stahl like stale gum. Management says they're going younger. Fans say you're stealing cap space. Analysts say you've hit the wall. You know it's over when the kid you mentored just took your stall, and your nameplate's gone before your gear is. No tribute, no banner, just silence. Maybe you get a handshake. Maybe you don't. Probably not. Because in the end, you weren't the star. You weren't the savior. You were the guy who did the dirty work, until the team found someone cheaper with better skating analytics. And you'd do it all again, because you're a defensive man, which means you're either invisible or in the way. Usually both.